Hey everybody, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I am on episode 124 today. I did indeed decide that I want to do the next two professional sets of pencils. Prismacolor is going to be first and Light Fast will be second because I'm going to do the Light Fast on it's a full page spread, but it's a mirror image, so I'll do one half of it with you guys and color the rest of it on my own. And today I am going to do the Prismacolor on the Snail, and then if I get time, I'm going to go ahead and do this whole page with Prismacolor. I have not spent a ton of time with the Prismacolors. I did a detailed walkthrough around Christmas time, and other than that, I don't use them. So I thought this would be a fun opportunity to play with these some. So I'm going to start with a set of greens because that is what I have in my hand. And we've got, these are pretty easy to read so far. They've got a nice block out, but the metal, this is a silver, but it is not as shiny as some as far as reflection goes on with the light. So they're pretty easy to read, and I'll have all the color numbers up on the description. So we're using 910, 909, and 908. I will say that I saw my first wax bloom, a little bit of a white, waxy, foggy sort of a finish on my swatches that I made for these long ago. So I will have to get a napkin and test out how easy it is. I've heard it's very easy to wipe off the wax bloom. And in all my years, I have never seen wax bloom, but I would imagine of all of the sets that are wax sets, I am not surprised that it was the Prismacolors that first showed me what wax bloom looks like. I am not planning on doing anything special with these pencils as far as how I use them. I'm just going to do my normal thing and see how it goes. I do know that when I was working on the full page coloring images, I did a R.J. Hampson holiday theme with Santa Claus and a reindeer, and they were a little on the messy side. I had to be very careful with them. I could not wipe away any of the crumbs with my fingers or my palm, because it just made a big streaky mess, especially with the reds, as you can imagine. So I have two green tones. This is the leaf green. I have created a combo sheet in addition to my swatches, so I've been referring to that to choose colors. So once I finish trying to make a game plan for, oops, I went over there, I'll have to clean that up. Make game plan for the rest of the week. I do want to use my new sets, new to me sets that I don't have the complete sets of. So I will definitely be trying to crank out the prep for both the Black Widow, of which I have about half, a little over half. And since that's a 180 set, I am still optimistic that what I have is enough to do some coloring. And then I will have 70 erogitans, and I'm hoping that I have a balanced enough selection that I can use those as well. If I do get a little bit behind, or if I color too slow, I should say, I will go ahead and start out next week on Monday with the erogitans, if need be. Then after that point, I'll have to come up with a game plan, maybe a random number generator would be fun to do next. All right, go into the darkest one, which is 908. Also, to be a little different, I am going to color the background on my own. Because the previous page, both images, I blocked in the background first so you could see what that looked like. I will make this page a surprise. Unlike the previous page, there are a lot of leaves on this page. All right, I think I have these three done for the most part. I haven't been doing a very good job of saying to welcome everyone to my channel and welcome back if you're returning, so I apologize for that. And I do appreciate everyone stopping by, and hopefully enjoying coloring with me. I hope that you can grab whatever book you're coloring, pick some flowers, and whatever your favorite set is, and just color along with me for a little bit every day as a way to unwind and relax and de-stress. All right, I think that's good for that. I'm going to grab the lime colors next. Don't know if I'm going to go quite as light. Even with the leaf colors, I did not use the lightest leaf. So I'm going to start with the second lightest green. So we have 989, 913, and 912. I think I've got them all. You're going to notice too that these have been sharpened a variety of ways. When they come pre-sharpened, and it's a very shallow sharpen. And at some point, I sharpened these not with my jar link. And I've done a couple of them today with the jar link, and I did not like the way it sounded, and I know that these are a very soft pencil, and I don't want them to gum up my motor. Now I have figured out and done a video on how to properly take it all the way apart, so that if anything should happen to the sharpening mechanism, not the motor itself, which I haven't figured out how to get to yet. Not sure if I even need to get to it. But I do know how to get to the sharpening wheel and get that totally out so I can clean it if I need to. But I just figured I would use a manual sharpener, so I have my Prismacolor sharpener that I've been using. And because I didn't like the way they looked and I didn't like the sound, I just thought for sure that it was going to cause grief. So I didn't even use the darkest color because these leaves are so small. This is with the darkest color. And there's just not enough color variation either. I don't see a need for 3 colors. So I'm just going to leave those like they are for the moment and get to work on the flowers. Trying to use some different colors, and I am sticking with a particular color palette this time. The previous circle of flowers, I'd used a whole bunch of different flowers. So I'm going to pick teal. The teal color has not been used on that other page. So I have got a 4 light to dark pencil blend here picked out. Here's a very rough, it's like the paint sat and congealed while maybe they want them to be rolled and it didn't roll. And then there's this line. It's a very rough looking pencil. There are some very rough looking pencils with the Prismacolors for sure. I'm pretty spoiled with the economy pencils and the overall quality of the barrels. Okay, so lightest to darkest. 1086, 992, 905, and 105. And I plan on doing a reverse where I am going to have the center, which for me is usually the youngest part of the petal, and I make it dark. But there are some flowers that start out with a white, they end up with a white center. And that's what I'm going to do with these flowers today. So I'm just going to rough in this lightest color, not a ton of it. I don't even know if the Prismacolors need some of the tooth. This is a very smooth tooth paper, but some of the pencils that I have, I know you get a better coverage if you have some of the tooth left exposed. And I am not worrying about that. Yeah, that's a rough pencil. I can feel it. I am doing the same sort of a linear ovals to simulate the veins. I am not sure if Prismas will replicate veins very nicely, but I'm just going to proceed just like I would with any pencil. When I blend it out, it's possible if there are any veins that they will smooth out too much, and I don't know if I'm gonna really work all that hard to get veins to show, because I know that's not typically how these pencils work. Going with the third, getting darker now. We're at 9:05. All right, and then I only have one darker color. And there's these little lines, and this is a little bit sharper, the darkest one, and I'm going to go ahead and darken in the corners and focus on where the lines and the dots are. This little bit here, the little triangle, is going to be dark because it would be the petal behind that is showing, not the background. So it gets the darkest teal. It is unusual for me to choose to make the edges of a petal the darkest. So we'll see how well I do at this. All right, so there is the middles of the stamen. I'm gonna make that lightly dark. Now I've left that pretty rough, and I'm going to take the lightest color, which is 1086. See how they do the black on the light? I wish all brands would do that. So as I'm going through here, and I'm using my ovals, everything is brightening up, smoothing out. And I am just not going to sweat it. I do know that this is how Prismas work. I'm going to embrace how they work and not try to make them into something they are not. I won't do this right now, but I am tempted to go back through with the dark one more time. The darker teal. All right, and we've got the little flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the slightly bigger flowers, and they are all going to be shades of yellow to yellowish orange, and the centers are going to be yellowish orange to like a cinnamon. And I have all the pencils sitting right here. One thing I am noticing, just as my observation, is where I took this light blue, all of these lines are now gray instead of black. I don't know how I like that, or how I would avoid that from happening. But this is just me running a little bit of the darker color, seeing how it affects the lines that have now turned gray. So I will be playing with that. All right, that's enough of that. Lovely colors. I think I'm going to do the centers of everything now, because I do happen to be rotated around here to the tan cinnamon colors. And I've got 3 colors for the centers. I don't think these are going to be used. It's going to be a lighter yellow for the tiny flowers. So 917, 1032, and 945. My light source is still in the upper left. I was in error yesterday and caught it. So I typed that it is not upper right, it is upper left. I'm gonna have to clean that. I have my electric eraser here. It looks somewhat clean. See how blue that is even after erasing? That is definitely the joy of Prismas. They do stain the paper. Second color is 1032. Darkest 945. These little dots are going to be brighter yellow orange. These are a pretty fast pencil to work with for sure. All right, I am grabbing the 3 yellows. Cinnamon colors are being set down. You've already seen the orange, yellow, so it's 1011, 916, and 917. Oh, these actually, I'm just going to make those light blue. So now that I've made them yellow, They are 4-petal flowers. We'll see if I can keep them all straight. I will be going over the top with the light, I believe it's light sky blue. And I actually do want the centers to be yellow, not orange. So I'm going to cover all 4 petals and the center with this light yellow. Okay, next color is the middle yellow 916. I am not going to put any more yellow on the tiny flowers. I do like, I'm looking at these blue, and I like the a little bit mottled, but somewhat veined looking effect. I like it. I might leave these flowers just that light, and I might go in with a little bit of a light gray just to cast a couple of shadows. And I am going to, I might have to sharpen that. So I've been picking, let's see if you guys can see it. There are 2 tips shown, and I'm going with the longer, narrower tip, which is the right side. Okay, let's see what fun we can do with these. I'm not even sure you guys can see a difference. I'm just playing with how smooth can I get that. Okay, I'm going to do something. And then I have the snail colors. And then I'm going to just move right along. I'm making these, the ends a little bit more very light aqua colored. I'm sort of going with a limited color palette this time. Very cute. Yep, I just wanted the ends of the petals to be a little aqua. All right, the snail. I have 3 colors for the snail. A dark to light, so the lightest 1080, 941, and 946. And I haven't decided if I should just go with an even lighter tone for the bottom of the snail, that pattern that is peeking through. So I might save that as a surprise along with the background, but I have picked the background color out. I'm just going to not share it with you till the final reveal. All right, working on the middle color, 941. Okay. Darkest color is 946. How are we doing? 39. I would love to get started on the bee. The bee is going to be traditional bee colors. So I can at least get some of the black blocked in. Give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like. So now I'm taking the middle tone, doing a little burnishing here on the darker color, which I will probably go back with the darker color. But first I'm doing this lightest color. I'm actually trying not to touch any of that black so that it stays crisp black. See how these leaves are getting gray? I don't know, what do you guys think about that? I kind of wish that I could control that better. Tell I don't want to rush this. So let's see, what are we at? 41. Going back to the darkest color. All right, I still see that I need to go one more pass to get it completely colored in. I still see a little tooth. All right, so that's different. I was trying to not let myself use the same colors I wanted to do. I really like the teal. All right. There is, I didn't realize I had slid down, so hopefully you saw most of that, because there's only one chance at live coloring. I just keep seeing little bits of tooth that need smoothing. Don't like how those leaves have turned gray on me. Other than that, I think it came out great. So tomorrow, we're at just under 45 minutes. I'm not going to press on to the bee until tomorrow. I probably won't do anything else with this with you guys. I will finish the rest of it off myself. And tomorrow we do the bee. So, do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I will see you all here tomorrow to color the bee. See you then.